record it for those because I know like there's never a perfect day. Some people are working. I know Sam is working, I believe, and some other people. But that way they can just get this. And I just like coming on here and getting together because we're all building and we can share ideas with one another. And then B, I get so many of the same questions. So I kind of like gather those and I'm like, okay, let's just like address them all as a whole and make sure that usually if somebody else is asking me, you guys have probably thought it or haven't thought it yet. And you're like, that's actually a really good question. So I always just like to do that. So I just call it Tuesday Team Up. And we can just kind of touch base. It's not like we do it every single week or anything like that. Sometimes I do working Wednesday, whatever it may be. But here's the thing. Since there's us four, we can even kind of do it to that too. But this is my goal, you guys. Like with this business and you getting to be your own boss and just having people that can teach you and mentor you. Like I always tell people, I'm like, my goal is to show you guys tools, empower you, and show you how to build your own business. Because at the end of the day, even if I went and built you a whole diamond business, the thing is I've learned in this business for doing this 6.5 years that if somebody does it for you, you don't know how to maintain it. So yeah, it's awesome that maybe you get a $2,000 check one time, but then like what would be even more awesome is if you know how to maintain a $2,000 check and then grow that to a $4,000 check. Or, you know, Ruby, which is $500 and grow it to $1,000. And so my goal and our goal here is to teach you how to build your own business, empower you to do it, show you that you are more than capable of doing it. And I always tell people, you just have to know you're not expected to know everything. Like no one just walks in and is like a natural at the business. And I was telling Erica, I was like, okay, the only thing I ever sold was beer, and that I think just sells itself because it's on the menu, and people just want it. But I'm like, this is about as close as we can get to that because who doesn't freaking drink coffee? Who doesn't want to look young and all those things? So I always tell people, I'm like, you guys, we are freaking as close to that as we can get with the products we have. And so I think it just comes back to, you know, the quote that says, give a man a fish and you can feed him for a day, but teach him how to fish and he can feed himself for a lifetime, right? And so that is kind of the way that this business works. Like we're able to help each other here and there. But you guys, like if you and you guys are doing so awesome at that, just taking the reins and jumping in. Who cares if you don't know everything? Like it is not going to stop you from helping people start this business. It is not going to stop you from helping them with their goals. They may ask you questions that you're like, never even thought to ask that. And you're going to come to me or to the messenger or whatever it is that we have going, and you're going to ask it. And guess what? You're going to learn it together. And that is one thing that I always tell people. I'm like, you are going to learn so much faster by doing and starting to help other people than if you wait to know everything, because it's not going to make sense. So that is kind of like when we hop on these, or when I share with you guys like a training or say like, hey, hop on the Show Me the Money call. You guys, that is where I learned everything in this business. It's just by listening and watching people and copying the right people. And so that is exactly what we want you to do. And I will tell you, Megan knows too. She knows me long enough now. But you guys, if we're doing something, like I promise you, I'm not here to waste your time. I mean, I wish I could like meet you all somewhere and just like hang out and do all that stuff. But since we're all in different states, that just doesn't work. But if we are coming and doing something, like we're going to get to work, we're going to talk about things that we need to talk about that would be helpful. And then we're like moving on our day and going, because I just know people are busy and time is money. So tonight I'm going to address like some of the questions that I've been getting, some of the places where you're at in your business that I think you're ready for like the next step to be figuring those things out. And then Megan's going to share even just another way to build, which is using host to post. And you guys, it's like a gold mine. Like it's a gold mine for so many things, because what do I always talk about, like the 5 things that we need to do in this business. Those 5 things are growing your network, messaging, posting or sharing in some way, right? Most of us use social media because it's just such a powerful tool and it allows you to reach people from everywhere. And then what's the other one? Oh my gosh, I just told you, Angie. I was just talking to Angie. What is it? Follow up. Yes. So those are the 4 things. Okay. And then the 5th one I always put in there is self-development. Everyone kind of like snubs their face to that until they actually start doing it. And honestly, you guys, that is one thing that will make or break people, because so many people talk down to themselves. They like sell themselves short. Even in this messenger, instead of like being lifted up and being like, holy crap, like there's people that want this business. When they see somebody else sign, they might even take it and be like, oh my gosh, you know, like, why am I not signing people? And I want to teach you guys, like, no, just know when somebody's signing somebody that there's people out there, and maybe you just haven't reached the right people yet, you know, or maybe you've talked to the right people, but it's just not their right time. You just have to learn to be patient. You have to learn that there is power in numbers, and that you guys can all do this. And so self-development is like the 5th one. And I swear, you guys, that makes the world of a difference, because I feel like it teaches you that you're worthy of your goals, no matter how big or how small they are. And that really, there's a lot of things that maybe stand in your way, but you'll probably be your own biggest roadblock out of everything that you could possibly think of. And that's the hardest thing, because self-reflection is not an easy thing, but as soon as you start like actually loving it, you realize you have so much more control than you think you do. So we're just going to jump right in. So, okay. This is the other thing I was going to say. In this business, you get what you're willing to put in. Okay. And honestly, I can't decide that for you. No one can decide it for you. You get to decide if you're going to take time for it, make it a priority, all those things. Like, I could tell you till I'm blue in the face what I do every single day. But if you never decide to do it or try it or put it into action, it's not going to do anything for you, you know? And so just remember that, you guys. Like, if you're showing up and you're posting, you know, maybe one little snippet and it's not even a full story, you might get a check that's kind of like a babysitting check. If you are doing it maybe 2 times a week, you might, and you're kind of maybe dabbling into just 2 of the things instead of all 5. You might get a check that's like just paying for your products that you're using. If you commit to showing up every single day and just making the time to do those things, and even if you rotate the 5 things, but you're showing up and you're doing something every single day for your business, and you're getting those steps to success done, you guys, you are going to be going diamond. Like, you're going to be building diamonds. You're going to have diamonds popping on your team, because I didn't even veer from the steps to success. And so I love that we literally have the roadmap that's right there for you. And it's just your decision of whether or not, like, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to hold myself accountable to doing this. And then you have exactly what you need right in front of you. So that's what we're kind of here and we're trying to do. And we always share ideas. And that's why when any of you guys even sign somebody or have a win, like, freaking shout it out. Tell them how you got it. Say, hey, this is somebody I've talked to for this long. I think that's stuff that people need to hear. And even for me, you guys, it's not like all of a sudden somebody responds to my poll. Some might sign up right then and there, but I will tell you guys, like, I have ongoing conversations. Like, I had 5 conversations going yesterday that are still going today. I am still not going to be upset if it takes me till tomorrow to get them set up. Okay. So just know you're going to have the weird ping pong conversation. If you're like Space Cadet and you're going to miss people, like, write them down on your little list. And so that way you remember to hop back onto the messenger, follow up with them, see where they're at, answer their questions, all that type of stuff. Okay, so tips on sealing the deal with loyal customers. I talked about the ping pong conversation, and you guys, I do super short, like, snippets. I answer what they're asking. I usually bring into like how I'm using the products, and every single one of you on here has been using the products now. A lot of us started in this business without even using the products. And guess what? It doesn't even stop you. It didn't stop me. It doesn't stop other people. But you all know that as you start getting your hands on it, it's just so much easier to be like even 10 times more excited, because you know that you already love what you have, you know, and then you're even more excited to keep sharing it. So I always do like the back and forth. If I don't sign them while we're talking, or maybe they kind of go MIA, you guys, remember, people are in different time zones. Like, I had a teacher last night and she's like, hey, I got to go to bed, but I'm going to message you tomorrow. It's okay, you know, and I kind of assume that, hey, she's probably going to message me in the evening. She's a teacher. It's probably not going to be during the day. And I'm talking to her again tonight. So you guys, don't think like if you don't get them right then and there, or they kind of go MIA, it's usually because they got sidetracked or whatever it is. So pop back in there, or know that like when you're sharing a story or you're going live, it's almost like a follow-up and a reminder to be like, oh yeah, I was going to be ordering coffee from Sarah, and here she is sharing more results or more testimonies of people that are using the coffee that I wanted to use. Before and afters, I use those a lot in my messenger. I also use them a lot in my stories. Like, I'm not gonna tell you to go blow up your Instagram per se, because Instagram is just a little bit different than Facebook unless it's your own. So if it's your own, you guys, like, seriously post those bad boys, like on your wall, whatever it is. You can even do a selfie and then the second picture be your, like, say, hey, swipe left, and then it can show yours, but your before and afters are going to explode your business. And I was telling Angie, I'm like, you guys, they don't even have to be like updated 24/7. Okay. Like if Angie's actually whooping butt on keto coffee, and she's doing the keto diet. So I was just telling her, I'm like, you guys, even Lauren, you posted yours, and they're like, people are just loving it up, you know? And it's like, who cares if you don't go for 2 weeks? You guys, you could literally post your own before and after in your stories, like every 3 days, and still sign brand new customers from it. And it doesn't matter that you posted it 3 days ago. So make sure that you are putting those in there. If you are hesitant, like, speak up now and just say why. Because I'm just going to be here to, like, debunk all the things that people say. Because I laugh, because I finally, like, even have people that I've been in this so long that people are like, hey, so I used to judge you or think you were annoying, and I'm like, oh, isn't that nice? And you know what, you guys, I really don't care. Like, that's the funny thing. Like, nothing I'm doing is hurting anybody. And even if they're annoyed in the beginning, it's funny to me because somehow they're still coming to me and asking me questions. So, like, annoying or not, they're intrigued. They're wondering. Like, that's exactly what we want to do. So seriously, who gives a crap? And the other thing is like, if it's one of your customers, you guys, if you're like, how the heck is Sarah getting testimonies or her customers before and afters? It's because I ask. Like, I straight up, as soon as I sign them up, I'm like, hey, I would, like, love you forever if you will take a before picture. Like, you can just be in workout gear, whatever it freaking is, whatever you want, whatever you're most comfortable in. And I tell them, like, can you just do a front and a side? And then I say, I just want you to track your results. And as soon as you get excited enough to share them with me and allow me to post them, like, I will, you know, like, love you forever. And you guys, that's the thing. That's why I get those coming into my inbox. That's why I have ones to share. And then again, any customer you sign, and Megan will talk about this, but the next thing is, like, don't just stop. Like, don't, like, literally, you make sure you're following up with them, telling them how to mix their keto coffee and greens, right? I tell everybody, I'm like, hey, tomorrow when you're at Target again, I'm like, buy the $6 frother. Like, I tell people that. I want them to love it like I love it. And then after that, you guys, I asked them, I'm like, would you be willing to host a post, like, just how you were interested in getting this coffee and just switching it out? Because it's going to be a really easy switch. Like, I know there's so many other people, and I'm just trying to spread the word. Would you mind posting for me if I gave you a post? Like, I literally turned that LC into this. So just know, you guys, like, don't just think, oh, I signed them up. Like, go ask them if they would do you a favor. The next best thing that can happen is that thing explodes, and you get to say, hey, have you ever thought of doing this business? Your network, your friends, your family, they are interested in this, and you already got it. Like, you get to share it, and you could actually make customers or make income, or they can be my customers. Have you ever thought of doing this? Like, it is that simple. Okay. So I do not overcomplicate things. Sometimes I get, like, nervous to ask somebody, but honestly, I've just learned that because I'm coming from a genuine place, that honestly, you guys, people they know that. And so I've just learned, like, I'm not upset. And if somebody tells me no, I also know, like, a no is kind of a not right now, but I'm going to sit and watch you because now I'm intrigued, but I'm freaked out that you asked me this, but I also kind of want to know more, you know? And so they sit and they watch that. So I want to make sure, like, even in messages, so when I get polls and I have responses coming in, you guys, if I have a good response, like, I save it, and all I do is change up the name, and I copy and paste it. Like, that's a time saver. So as soon as you get your response that you like for, like, collagen, keto coffee, and the greens combo, things that you use a lot, save them in your notes. So it's super quick to respond to people. And then I even I give them the info, and then I usually send a before and after, and I show them what it's doing. And then the thing that I love about that, you guys, is that it like they can't see what you've messaged them. It will tell them like, hey, that she sent you a photo, and people automatically are like, what the heck did somebody send me? You know what I'm saying? So they always go open it. So that's the other thing that I do. And I've just found that sending that before and after, or showing them what the products they're asking about is doing, helps me seal the deal within itself. So like when we say pictures speak 1,000 words, you guys, like have your key ones that you go to. Sometimes I'll even see like, okay, this customer, she's like a mom of 4. I'll go find like one of my mom friends that has had, 3 or 4 babies, or maybe whatever, if it's a twin mom or whatever it is. And I like go and I just use that one. So it's kind of more applicable to and relatable to where they're at in life. So that I feel like helps me a lot in sealing the deal with enrolling loyal customers, is using the before and afters. And then like today, you guys interact on stories. Like we are using our stories as a big tool to be able to share things, but also like not bombard them in a weird way. Like if somebody goes to mine, they're still kind of wondering like, okay, she does a business, she uses these products, but like who's she with? And I love that. I love that I'm still not giving them every little thing, because I want them to come ask me, and so the stories, like today I had a girl that she had just had a baby, I want to say like 5 weeks when she had reached out to me. Well, she follows all my stuff. So I saw her post about her coffee and her little baby's like in the bouncer. And I was like, girl, it's about time you try my keto coffee and greens. Like you messaged me forever about it. Like I was like, you have to try this. And she wrote me back, you guys. And that's just, it pops into her messenger because I commented on her story. And she wrote me back and she's like, I'm messaging you next week. Like we're going to Hawaii, but as soon as I get back, like I'm ready to order. So, I mean, it was like, that's simple, so that's somebody that I've talked to that wasn't an overnight thing. It didn't work out the month that I talked to her, but guess what? She's going to be one of those people that's a part of my business this month and is helping me build my business and my portfolio. And who knows, if she signs up, she is probably somebody, she's super well connected. She's somebody that would host a post for me. And then I can even do that. And she could see either she's just lovingly and willingly helping me to build my business, or she can be like, I already love the coffee and the greens. Like I could do this too, So that's the other thing I do with getting customers is I comment on people's stories because it gets you in their inbox. So sometimes it literally has nothing to do with anything at Works. It's just me interacting with people to kind of get that relationship like there and the trust going so that they come back and they start following my stuff. And then Megan, touch on host a post, because I know that you have actually done this and you've had awesome results. And this is something that, like, you guys, this is something where you can pour like gas on the fire. And literally like, I mean, people, it's not like 4 loyal customers, like people are signing 4 loyal customers in a day from the host to post thing. And it also is like allowing them to grow your network and do so many other things. So I told Megan she does dabble into that, and it's something that I feel like works really well for her. And I think every single one of you guys on here, I'll talk about this in a minute, but you're all working. So like that's something that I also think, like when I talk about things and I say like I want to work smarter, not harder, it's because most of us are doing this and supplementing our income, and this is a second income for us, which is freaking awesome, by the way. Okay. So yeah, Megan, share about host to post and kind of just the ins and outs about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So like Sarah said, the host to post has been super lucrative for me. I've just begun to kind of tap the surface with it, and the potential there, you guys, is honestly endless. And I definitely need to dabble in it more. So what it is basically I have reached out to loyal customers of mine that I know love the keto coffee, they love the greens, or maybe it's even the collagen or another product. I just use the greens because that's kind of my top product. And you're basically giving them this verbiage and you're saying, hey, I know you love these products. You've been using them for a couple months now. Would you be willing to host a post for me? And 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, yeah, absolutely. Why not? And so it's just an easy way to tap into somebody else's network and get other conversations going. So basically what you're doing is you're giving them everything that they need to post on their wall. Like, hey, I've been doing this coffee. This is what I love about it. Here's the results that I've had. and then they tag you in the post. So as people comment on it and say, hey, I'm interested, I want more info, then you start messaging them and start having conversations with those people. And I think the first time I had maybe like 6 people sign up as loyal customers on my host to post. So it's super, super lucrative. And like Sarah said, I work full time. I know a lot of you guys do too. So it's a really, really easy way to start conversations and get those conversations going. And I think with the host to post, I think that's a really good opportunity too to upsell some of the other products. Like, hey, you're interested in the keto coffee. And then I usually start having a conversation about, do you do the keto diet at all? And if not, that's great. You don't have to. The great thing about this is that you're still going to see results. But if you do, here's some other products I can recommend, and so on and so forth. So you can use kind of any product that you want, like Sarah said. And I just think it's such an easy way to start conversations and to get new people in your network, number one, and to get loyal customers going. What else? And I think the big thing with that is really just making sure, like, obviously when you're working, you can't follow up probably as quickly as you want. But honestly, just make sure that you're going back and you're following up with those people, adding them as friends. I've added a lot of these people that have reached out to me as friends, and then people see that we're friends and it starts with our conversation. So again, I think the potential is limitless with these host to posts.
And you guys, it's not like you can use your loyal customers if you're like enrolling customers, but you can even ask people, like if you've messaged people and they're like, I'm just not interested. You guys be okay with that. Like turn a no
right.
Somebody hosting a post for you. Just say like, hey, I totally get that this is not for everybody, but would you be willing to just share on your wall if I gave you a post? And you guys, this is something that if we are using this as a team, like I don't mind like putting these people who are doing us favors into a drawing and like sending a free bag of keto coffee. Like that's awesome. Like they're doing us a favor. They're helping us, that type of thing. And you guys, most people will not say no to helping you out. And I don't know why. I don't know if they're like, I'm a huge dick if I don't. I don't know. But they usually will not say no, you guys. That's the thing. So I don't even my customers, like I don't even necessarily wait until they get their products. Like I just ask, like they knew they wanted it. So I just say like, you probably have multiple other friends that would love to switch this out or just be a little bit healthier or whatever it is. And I just ask them, you guys. So you have to ask, like whether it's about the business, about hosting a post or whatever it is, you guys, you just have to be bold enough to start asking, because honestly, the worst you're going to get is a no. And we know how to turn no's into something else as well. And the thing is a no isn't always a definite no. Like sometimes it's not right now. And people will continue to watch you with all that stuff. And I like it too. Erica, you're on here. Erica's like bomb at, like, she's just not shy about talking about more product. So Erica, will you just share it? Like your customer orders, like they're big orders. And you guys, and I want to just talk about that. Not that people, they can be on any budget they want to be on. And that's one thing I've always loved about It Works. But in the beginning, I've told some of you guys this, like I was a little gun shy and I was like, oh my God, I'm just not even going to talk about anything else because they're just ordering. And that's because like, I didn't even know I could do the business, I was like, thank God people want this. And I wasn't that person that like scouted out my whole route. And I'm so glad I didn't, because I feel like even when people do that, it doesn't go how they plan and then they freak out. Like me, I was like, I'm just going to wing it and we're going to figure this out as I go. So the thing is though, is I feel like the part that I failed at was like when somebody was getting wraps, I didn't talk about defining gel. Like I didn't talk about our skinny pack that has wraps, defining gel, and fat fighters, which allows them to get a way better results, like. And so I feel like, Erica, you've done really awesome at like not just getting them set up for what they're asking, but like really getting that conversation going and like upselling like the superfood mocha dream pack on there, which adds in like, you guys, I mean, it adds in a lot of BV, and plus they're getting the products and they're getting faster results. So will you kind of just touch on like what you're doing, Erica?
So I work in retail, so I kind of just use what we use every day at work with this. So we always like tell everybody, you're not shopping from your own pocket, you're shopping from theirs. So, go with the biggest stuff first and then kind of feel out what their budget is going to be, because you never know what they're willing to spend. You don't know how much money they have, or necessarily what they're looking for. So if they're like, oh, I'm interested, the keto coffee and the greens, like, to me, just goes hand in hand. I just literally tell people you want those two products. And then with a lot of people too, I've just been talking about the energy sticks. Like, hey, if you already consume like a lot of caffeine, the energy sticks are like the perfect midday pick-me-up rather than having like another cup of coffee. Just get those, and then you can pop that halfway through your day. So it's just, my biggest thing is like not shopping from my own pocket.
Yeah. And going back to like what you just even said, like, offer it. Like, the worst that can happen is it's not a fit for them. And guess what? We can go to whatever they want. But you guys, if we never offer the business, if we never offer another product, and we literally just keep their mind in this one little narrow thing, like, that's all you'll get in your business. So I think it's just like she's telling people, even with this, I'm going to talk about this. They have a pack that when people are ordering, I finally got the details on this, and I wanted to share this here. It's a Superfoods Mocha Dream Pack, okay? And it literally allows them to get a bag of keto coffee, which is 15 little packets, right? So half a month. And then it gives them the tub of the greens. But instead of paying, I wrote it down. Okay, so instead of paying $72 for the two, they can get it for 49 bucks. Okay, so that's a $23 savings. You guys, I do math as like a picture. That's another way I always seal the deal, is I show them, like, when they're asking like how much stuff is, I always say, okay, a retail, I break it down like product by product, and I'm like, retail is this, loyal customer is this. Their next question instantly is, what's a loyal customer? Like, boom, I walked into it. I didn't have to talk about it. Like, they're asking me. Same thing, like, if you don't want to do the retail and the customer price, I always give them the customer price, and I say, this is the pricing with our customer program, okay? And then the next question, I don't talk about it. I don't like word vomit. I give them the answer. And then the next question is like, what's the loyal customer? And then I just explain it. Like, I'm like, you have a couple options. This is what it is. And I always say, most people do this. Guess what? Most people want to follow what most people are doing. So that's when they become a customer. And so here's the thing with the Superfoods Mocha Dream thing, is that if they put one product, so this is my big thing right now with the holidays, and we all know we eat like crap. We enjoy family. We enjoy get-togethers, like all this stuff, right? And no one likes how they feel come January 1st. Last year, and like probably the last few years, like, I don't gain a pound through holidays. Last year, I actually lost because that's when keto coffee came out, and I was like, yeah, this is freaking awesome. So here's the deal. People, I am talking about the keto coffee and the greens if they are coffee drinkers. And then I am talking to them about the fat fighters. So if they are doing a month supply of keto coffee, the chocolate greens, and the fat fighters, you guys, that's over 100 BV. So those qualified legs that we're looking for promotions, like, that's 4 customers. Okay. So that's like an easy breakdown of kind of those things. So this is what I tell them. Like, even my girls that just want a month supply of the coffee and the greens, right now I'm telling them, put your 1 bag of keto coffee in, proceed to checkout. It's going to pop up and it's going to ask you about the Superfoods Mocha Dream Pack, which will give you the other bag of keto coffee. So that's your full month plus the full month of greens, and you're going to save 23 bucks. So instead of it being 111, you get your month supply of your coffee with your creamer and whatever the good taste is for literally 88 bucks. So doing math and breaking those prices down and what they're saving, you guys, that's a big eye opener, and it shows like how glorious our actual loyal customer program is. It's not scary. So it's only like, if you're hesitant about sharing what it is, people are going to be hesitant to do it. But if you're like, hey, you get my pricing, this is what you're saving, compared to what you would be your $5 drink at Starbucks every day, like this, and it's going to make you feel 10 times better. Like, this is your option. So things that I'm focusing on are that, because everyone's like busy running on E, coffee's easy to switch, fat fighters, because there's going to be some heavy meals with carbs and fats. They can easily take those afterwards, and it will help with like limited weight gain during the holidays. And then I want to tell you guys, like, not everybody has to be a coffee drinker. I mean, we all are that are on here. However, some aren't. And so I'm going to share with you guys, even in our messenger thing, like my friend Christy, she is not a coffee drinker. And so she has insane results within like 4.5 months. And this is what she did. And this is just an idea for you guys when you're talking to people, okay? She did the shake and the greens for a meal replacement for lunch. And then she does the probiotics in the morning. And with that, she was losing weight. So she's been doing the wraps to just tighten her skin up. Plus she's a mama. So her tummy and stuff has been stretched out. But you guys, like, I'm going to show you those results in that messenger, and it's incredible. The other thing that, like, my friend Claire, I shared hers. She's down like 16 pounds. She is not a caffeine drinker. So what she does, and I think Erica, I was telling you this, right? So some people don't want the caffeine, and you guys, that's okay. Like, that's why they came out with the keto creamer. So they could do, those non-coffee drinkers, they could do like more like a hot chocolate with the keto creamer and like cocoa powder and then the chocolate greens, and still get all the benefits that we're getting from the keto coffee. Plus, or they could do decaf coffee and add keto creamer and then the chocolate greens into that. So that's like another combo that is helping people. So you guys, my focus, like, for customers and just things that we can offer is like having a new you before the new year. Like, why do you have to wait for the new year to start your goals? You know, and for me, like, I made a huge lifestyle change last October, and you guys, I felt incredible starting the new year, and I loved that. And so that, and then I'm also or even just how to tackle the holidays with staying on track. Like, those are my two things that I'm kind of going with that are really focusing on for our customers. Then come the new year, we talk about New Year's resolutions, all of them, top 2. Weight and financial stuff. We have the answer and solution to both of them. Like, killer time. So there's that. Okay, so that's loyal customers. And then I know everybody here is working on building their team. And sometimes I feel like people can get overwhelmed, or they can get discouraged in this area, or whatever it is. So I'm going to touch on just like how to do it. And here's the thing. You do not have to get distributors to make money in this business. And that's actually something I really love. And you guys will get that question. Like, you can make a paycheck, you can get wrap cash, you can get a commission check, all those things just from loyal customers, okay? However, if you want to untap the other multiple ways that you can make money, like the weekly paydays and promoting and the bonuses that they offer, and then when you hit diamond, the 2 other ways that you make money. Like, if you want to do that, then yes, you have to build a team. And so many people are like, I don't know if people will want this. You guys, you have to offer it. Like, you have to talk about it. So this is my thing, you guys. I want everybody to do like a 10-second scroll on their Facebook or their Instagram, through their stories, whatever it is. If somebody, or you couldn't tell, or you have not talked about the business in those posts, like, that is probably why you're having a hard time signing distributors. Like, it needs to be something that you're putting out there for people to know. And the other thing is most people have to see this something for 9 to 12 times. So, like, you have to think, like, have you even posted about it 9 to 12 times? You know, and sometimes maybe you'll get it faster than that. But the truth is like, the first time they're like, what the freak is Sarah talking about? Second time they're like, oh, there she is again. You know, and then the third time they're like, crap, here she is. She's like seriously doing this, and other people are joining her. 5th time I'm talking about people joining me, and they're like, dang, that girl totally bit the bullet. Like, maybe I should have did that. And then it's like the 7th time I start getting a question. The 8th time they're like, okay, like, this is a pretty good deal, you know? And so you guys, you cannot, like, you have to find patience in this. And the urgency comes with the number of people that you talk to. You have to expect to hear no. You have to expect people to get sidetracked. Like, it is no reflection of if you're doing things right or doing things wrong. Okay. So it happens to every single one of us. And just know that. But the thing is like, if you just keep going, and in your mind, like, they are not in the system until they're in the system. So they do not touch your steps to success or fill in your line of steps to success until they're there. So, like, there's people, you guys, that have said, hey, I'm signing up. And then they just haven't, even still 3 months later. And then there's people like Lauren that see a live and they're like, I'm signing up, like, no, today. Like, and then she does. And you know what? That's what I did. Like, it was brought to me. I had wraps on my legs. I didn't wait to see if they even worked. I was just like, I want to do this. Like, that's the truth. I want to do it. I want to make extra income, and I'm ready to go. So distributors, like, you have to put it out there. You're going to have to talk to people. Even if, like, an easy concept is like, I'm going to go through my friends list, and I'm going to start with A, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to message 5 people. every single day. And this is the things that you can touch on. You can touch on what you see in them, why you're doing what you're doing, where you're going with this. All those things are easy. And then I'm going to give you some wording. But you guys, the one thing that is like such a big misconception is that you think you have to have this huge success story to sign people. The truth is that you do not. Like, people love joining you knowing they're joining right where you're starting. And so for me, I was just saying this to Angie, it's hard sometimes because I've been in this for 6.5 years. So sometimes people start and they like in 6 weeks want to be where I'm at in 6.5 years. I'm like, oh, it just like doesn't work like that, you know? And so I kind of have to like pump their brakes and be like, hey, I wasn't here at 6 weeks either, you know? And so the thing is, so don't undermine the power behind your excitement behind speaking what you're going to claim. You guys, who cares if you say you're going to go claim the $1,000 bonus and you fall a little short? Guess what? Best case scenario, Mark extends it and you freaking snag it next month. Like, it's not a big deal. The thing is people want to know what they're joining and what they're going to do when they're with you. Like, if Lauren's going to go get a $1,000 bonus, or Erica, these people are like, I freaking want to do that. You know, but if you never speak of it, they're like, I don't even know what that chick's doing. You know, so you have to put it out there. So here's the thing. I think I shared these with Megan. So here's what everybody that I have a conversation with. So they're going to buy product, okay? Erica, actually, I'm going to use what our combo as an example. And you like didn't even know you wanted to do this business, but you did, and then you're awesome at it. So here's that. So here's the thing. Erica had we've followed each other forever. Like, how, I don't even know how long. We don't even know how it happened. It was probably me because I was growing my network. And it was a long time. And so the thing is I could see Erica's name. Every single time I looked to see who's watching my stories, I could see her name in there. So she came on my list and I'm like, I want to know more about her. Well, I liked her. So I was interacting on her stuff. And so the thing is that she had been talking about wanting to try the keto coffee and the greens for a long time. And finally I was like, screw this. Like, I just think she'd be awesome at this. And so I just said, hey, I know this is, I think like almost word for word what I wrote you. I said, I know you've been wanting to order the products for the past couple of months. And this is kind of my wording, you guys. And I say, maybe you feel guilty spending the money on yourself or you just haven't gotten to it. But either way, I want to put this out there that if you are interested in not only being able to use the products at the wholesale cost, but also would like to earn free products and make some extra income, I totally think that you should do this with me. Are you interested? That is it, you guys. That is it. That's all I asked. And then from there, if they're like, can you tell me a little bit more? Then I tell them kind of what I do. And I explain to them, like, I'm a brand ambassador for It Works. Do you know much about It Works? Do you know the products that they have? Like, I kind of explain some of those things. And then I let them know, like, hey, this is what I do. I share on social media products that I absolutely love that have like been a game changer for my energy, how I feel, my health. And then I love the fact that It Works is debt free. You guys, that's big. Like, not many companies are debt free. And that is like a huge vision that they have for us. And that vision within itself, you guys, changed that 100% changed our life. Like, they're not telling you to go buy flashy things. Instead, they're like, do the ugly crap that feels good, like pay off your freaking student loans. Like, go pay off your house. Who cares if it doesn't need to be a 7,000 square foot house. Go live under a roof that is paid for, that you don't have to pay a mortgage on. You guys, that stuff feels freaking good. You know, and I loved that they did that. Like, to me, I'm like, that's humble and hungry. You know, that is relatable to people. And so I talk about the bonuses that they have and what they want you to do with them and that they want to be debt free. And you know what? When people start thinking that, I just say, I'm like, if you got rid of your debt and you didn't have car payments or school loans or credit cards, like, how much extra money would you have in your account? Like, if you just added it up, how much would that free up for you every single month? You guys, it's a jaw-dropping number for people. And they're like, okay, so I could maybe bring this in and I can be home still. I can do it when my kids are sleeping or whatever it is. But they're like, but I could knock that out and still have my income that I know provides for my family. Like, you guys, that's how people get ahead fast, is by supplementing their income and having something like this. And so it wasn't that I just started this and I worked and I was at home. I worked a freaking full-time job all the way up to ambassador. And you know what, you guys, I could have quit. But the thing is at that point, I was like, wait, I've done it this far. Like, I'm going to show people that you can build to the top rank of this company while working your full-time job. And I never regret it. Like, I'm so glad I did that because I want to show every single one of you that you can do the same thing. And I would never tell any of you guys, I mean, unless you are miserable, but I would never be like, oh, you know, you matched your income. I would ask you, I'd be like, Lauren, can you still do both? Like, are you okay to keep doing both? If you can, freaking keep doing it. Keep building your income past your income. Like, it just feels good that you start having choices. You can start lowering hours. Maybe you can start, you know, putting more away every single month. Maybe you can save for a home, like whatever it is, you know? And so those are the things that I like sharing. And then the other thing, you guys, is anybody that I am talking to that I am like, they're going to sign up as a customer, right before I'm about to send them to sign up, I say this. Like, this is what I ask them. I just say, hey, I know you're wanting to use the products at discount, but would you be interested in not only getting them at discount, but being able to earn free product or making some extra income? If like, and then I just wait for their answer. If they're like, what do you mean? I say, like, you could do what I do, but you would still get to use the products and, you know, have your own testimony and your own transformation, but you could also make some extra money. So I kind of just put that there. If they're not ready, perfectly fine, you guys. But guess what? You planted that seed. And now as they start doing and using their products, they're already thinking of it. They're like, okay, I love the product. Like, Angie offered for me to do this with her. Like, why wouldn't I try it? You know, so I bring it up almost in every single conversation. And the thing is if they say no and they just want to be a customer, guess what? Your customers still do amazing things in this business, and like, they're gold to us. So don't ever undermine that, but just know, like, if you're struggling with distributors, it's usually because maybe you feel like you're getting too wordy. Maybe people are just on the fence. It's okay. Like, just move on to a next conversation. While you're in that conversation, this person's finally going to be like, okay, I think I'm ready, you know? And you love those like surprise messages. I'll wake up to some of those and I'm like, there she is, you know? And sometimes it's 2.5 months, you guys. Sometimes it's even longer. But that's where I just want to teach you, don't wait on somebody. Like, your 3 and the people that are in your steps to success are the ones that are in the system. Okay. So, and if you're doing your steps to success and we're teaching that, like, you guys are going to grow insanely fast. Like, that's just the fun part about it. And it's fun that we have literally something that tells us exactly what to do. So that is, you guys, like, that's seriously, that's it. Do you guys have questions like that about Black Friday? Do they usually have some crazy good deals for LCs? Yes. Yes. Okay. And that just reminded me, and I'm so glad that you asked that, Megan. So they will always do, like, they will come about, they'll have like Cyber Monday, they're going to have Black Friday things. We have asked for them to kind of give us a heads up so that we can get like pictures ready and things like that to kind of share. So hopefully they've like, this is the first year they've really done that. And I love that. So just speaking of the holidays though, you guys, is that, look at, I'm so 80. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I just saw Erica's message. Okay. So the thing about the holidays is, this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. Holidays this season is busy, right? And so we kind of just have to teach ourselves to like where to find time and this is always good. But the thing is this has always been a booming time for our team, because the thing is people are already spending money. And like I said, no one likes to like come out of Christmas feeling awful, like low energy, just like none of their clothes fitting. Like, everyone hates that. So you guys, be confident in offering something that can allow them to not do that, and they still can save money, right? With all the different things going on. And this is the other thing, like, I plan ahead. So I know next week, like, we're hosting Thanksgiving. We're gonna have a lot of people here. And so am I gonna work my business on Thanksgiving? No, I'm not. But guess what? Instead, I'm probably gonna put some work in these next whatever days, more than I normally would have. So like, we're not even halfway through the month and my steps to success are almost done, you know? And so that's my goal. Like, and my goal, I want to do more than my steps to success. So the thing is like, when you're looking at your map, if you're like, I want to go Ruby, try to get those new team members in before Christmas. And then we can even use some of the Black Friday deals to help them get those first 5 customers. Like, explain that to them, that that's going to work in their favor. And so you guys, plan ahead for your busy days, plan ahead for your holidays. You know, it's not that you have to work every single day. Maybe you're going to put a little bit more work in on this day, knowing this next day is going to be kind of crazy. And you might only have time to post a couple stories or to respond to people that are messaging you back from your stuff. That's okay. Like, that's life. The thing that you just don't want to do is like let days and days go by without you even being anywhere for your business, because that's when people are like, dude, I don't, like, you only, like, it's just random to them. Like, they don't know how to follow what you're doing. So I plan ahead, you guys, and I know, like, on the days where I'm with family, it doesn't even have to be a holiday. Maybe you just have a certain day that you do those things. That's when I share my why. Like, that's when I take family pictures. That's when I have group pictures. That's when I use those to say, like, it's these people that mean the world to me, and I'm not going to not have time for them. Like, I'm not going to work for all this money to have, you know, provide, but not get to enjoy them. And so I use those things and I share, like, this is what fuels me. This is why I want more. This is what I'm working for, you know? And I use those days where I just share my family. That's you. Like, people need to see more than that you're just at work. They need to see Lauren's a cosmetologist. You know, they need to see Erica's working retail like that. There's a lot of people that work retail that would love something like this. Like, those things are so good to share. So that's kind of how I approach like busy days. You know, there's some days where maybe my stories aren't blowing up, but I was telling the girls, I'm like, those are the days usually that I'm like busy signing people that I've talked to for my stories for the last 4 days, you know, and that's okay, you guys, that's perfect. Then the next days, maybe I'll start planting some more seeds, you know? So just know it kind of is like a little full circle and a little, kind of just all flows together, and you need all aspects. Usually if you're falling short in one of those areas, you're going to feel it somewhere. So those are like where I do a self-check and I'm like, okay, Sarah, like maybe you haven't been sending out as many messages. Well, you're probably not going to get as many distributors on your team if you're not doing that, you know? And so I kind of do those things. And then a good number to start with, I feel like for host to post is like anywhere from like 5 to 10 that you can get those going. And you guys, if it's hard to stay organized, just do the same thing. Like, do all coffee. You already know the responses. You already know like what you can say. Like, you don't have to do a different product every single time. My host up posts are usually cleanse, because our cleanse is easy, it's simple, and it freaking works really good. And then keto coffee and greens, because I'm obsessed. So a lot of people will do hair, skin, and nails, and then some people will do like a weight loss combo. And so if you ever have those types of things, and usually with that, you guys will ask, like, how much are you looking to lose? And then from there, you can even message in the group and say, like, hey, I have somebody looking to lose 20 pounds. What would you recommend? And then, you know what? Then for your next responses, for those that are wanting to do that, you can use the same products for that. The deal. Okay. Erica's asking about the Superfoods Mocha Dream. I do not know. I do not know how long it's for. But I'm going to freaking use it, because I went back and even followed up with people last night and I said, hey, you know, you were going to do the month supply and this is what it was. It's 111. Like, right now, if you do it, you can save $23. And so I have like my little, here's my messenger blowing up. So I sent out like literally 15 follow-ups just saying that. So if you guys have had people on the fence about wanting to try the coffee, like, use that. And so what they have to do is they have to put one product in first. They'll go to checkout and then they'll be like prompted to do that and add that in. But once I know, I'll let you know. Okay. Anybody else have questions? You guys, these can be like interactive as can be. Like, I know like you guys are still kind of a little gun shy, but as you get going, you're going to be like, oh, I have tips to share. Like, you'll be all excited to share. So, but at first you guys are all kind of quiet. But if there's anything that you've done that has been like working like a charm, like, shout it out, because I just feel like everyone builds a little bit differently and you kind of find your niche. But it's always good, like, if something's not working, that somebody has an idea to try something else. Anything?
I will say that whenever I did my personal, you know, like just my week, like whenever I said like, hey, this is what happened whenever I started drinking my keto coffee, and this is at the end of the week, like, and I showed that before and after, I tell you, I had people flowing into my inbox. What is this? What's going on? What's happening? Like, where can I get my hands on this? Like, tell me how. And that's whenever it started really fueling the fire, is whenever I made myself vulnerable and said like, hey, listen, like, this is real life. Like, I'm a human too. Like, this isn't something that, you know, happens overnight, but guess what? It happened over a week, and it's all because of coffee. And I was telling Andrea, she's she's on here because she this is the new one.
She's like, get me on.
She couldn't get Zoom to work.
Hey,
but I was telling her, like,
I'm impressed.
right. But I was telling her, like, you know, it's just a simple fact that, like, you just kind of got to open yourself up and tell people, like, hey, like, this is what's going on and this is it. And, like, let's run for it. Like, let's just take a leap. And usually if people are like, oh, well, you're doing it too. You're like, oh, okay, well, if you're doing it, you know, I trust you and I believe in you and I believe what you say. And then they follow in behind of you.
Yeah. And you guys, that's so true. Like, those moments where you feel uncomfortable or you're like, I'm sweating, like I'm going to go live. It's like, that's exactly what you need to be doing. And the thing that you also have to know, like Angie and I like went to daycare together. Like we were itty bitties babies. And so here we are. So yeah, like we could technically have somewhat of some of the same people, or you're always going to share something. Like somebody's in your network for a reason, right? So you do share some people. However, like Angie's going to be closer to some people than they are to me. Or like maybe it works now, you guys. It's been here that people know, like when I started, I had to like start from square one to explain what It Works is. There are still people that don't know that, but most people have randomly seen something about it. So they kind of know, but they're looking, it takes the right person for them to be like, that's who I want to link arms with, or that's who I relate to, or all those things. So if you're never kind of putting yourself out there or sharing why you're doing it, or like speaking the real life, people, they don't know. Like they don't know what they're joining, why they're joining, what your plans are. And so, yeah, it is vulnerable. Like no one wants to talk about debt. No one wants to think about things that stress them out, or, you know, just because you want more time here, it also doesn't mean that you're unhappy at your job. It's just like, you're at a moment in your life where things are changing and you wish you had the option to pivot without having to stress about the financial impact of that. And that is the thing, you guys. Like, I love being a nurse. It has nothing to do with that. However, there is a small aspect of that here. It's more like the preventative health, which I love and I think is so important for our country just in general. But the thing is that I needed to pivot in our life, like where our kids are busy. We don't live by family. It's just Kevin and I, you know? And it's like, if I wouldn't have had that option, holy heck, you guys, like I would have been freaking stressed out. But the fact that I had did this and I kept building, like I had already built it past my, you know, plan A as a nurse. And I could say like, hey, I'm stepping back, and it didn't impact us financially, you know? So I think I love that part of it is like, those things that keep people up and stressing at night, I'm like, this can like knock that crap out. Adding this in, it's not taking them from somewhere. It takes time and it takes consistency, and it does take being a little bit vulnerable, but you'll see that every time that you allow yourself to open up a little bit, people are like flooding the gates and they're like, yes, that's a real person. They're speaking life to me that I relate to that. And then all of a sudden, so you guys just know the things that do kind of make you uncomfortable. And when you feel that where you're about to back away, that's where you need to have like count from 5 down and be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm doing it. Like here I am. I mean, I've been on lives where literally Brooks walks down and all of a sudden he's in the camp. Like I didn't even see him because I'm on the live and Brooks is literally like blood. And I'm like, okay. You know what? I'm like, yeah, this is life. Like I live with boys. Like we do bloody noses on a daily basis. I'm cooking dinner and I'm freaking going live. Like, guess what? I'm still here doing it. And you know what? It's funny because it's times like that where crap goes the way it's not supposed to, that I get all these messages and they're like, okay, can you tell me about this? And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, well, I'm not going to pop Brooks in the nose every time just to get some team members. But, you know, it all kind of comes together. So just know it doesn't have to be perfect. You do not have to know everything about everything, and you don't have to have the most perfectly worded posts, and there's nothing that you're going to share that is wrong or right. Like you can never say the wrong thing to the right person. So just know that. Okay. And I think you guys are just kicking butt. So if you guys have questions, have an open dialogue on the messenger. I will put this in there so that people that were working or couldn't hop on, they can get on here. If you are assigning customers or assigning distributors, say how, and even for you guys, think to yourself, what did you see from your mentor or whoever brought you on board? What did you see that made you want to join them? And think about those things. Write it down and be like, that's what maybe you want to share. What do you want to share and what do you want to see? What things inspired you that made you want to take the bite and do it, And those are kind of the things that I would zone in on. And you guys, I make my lists like that all the time. I'll even see different things, how we use Unfold for stories. I freaking asked a blogger. I saw her thing and I was like, that is really clean and neat. And I'm like, I want that. And I just asked her, I was like, what app are you using? I don't care. I see things that I want, whether it's from people in this business, on our team, our sideline, wherever it is, bloggers, and I pull that in to make it mine. So you guys can all do that. And obviously we're all here to help each other. So that's that, you guys. I just wanted to touch base with you. We are about halfway through the month. You want to know where you're going. You want to plan and know that you're going to be busy for the holidays. It doesn't mean that you can't spend time or do anything. I just tell people plan ahead of time. Don't let your goals slip through or give in to the excuses. You can build your business like a boss, and think about even after the day where people are I just ate all that, or they come back Saturday, Sunday, fat fighters, all cleanse, all that, you guys, we can blow that out of the freaking water with what we have. So I love your faces. Go have a good night. If you have questions, I will get the recording up, and then I'm also going to share on the messenger just some of the girls that I told you that maybe aren't using the keto coffee. I don't know who lives without caffeine, but bless them, because it's not me. So I'm going to share with you some of theirs so that you can have even just some resources to be like, yeah, this girl doesn't drink coffee, or she doesn't do caffeine, and this is what her results and stuff are. So there's just so many other different ways. So, and if you have questions, you can post in there and I'll answer them. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.